You're listening to the world-famous White Roof Radio, Woofcast number 651, recorded November 20th, 2018. Brought to you, as always, by CravenSpeed.com, MotoringStripes.com, and OutMotoring.com. Mini performance, speed, and style. It's OutMotoring.com. Ready, go. Hey, everybody, it's DB and Air's Butt. Are we not ready?
No,
you messed me up.
I said Ready Player One, sorry.
I haven't seen Ready Player One yet.
I have not either. Dude, here's what's really bad too. Before you get started, I mean, I have still not seen what's the latest Avengers.
Ant-Man? Ant-Man and the Wasp? Or
I've not seen that.
Infinity War?
I haven't seen either one of those.
Dude.
And literally, the last Star Wars, I'd never saw in the theater.
Well, I wouldn't have seen the last one in the theater. I haven't seen the last one at all. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I'm a Marvel nerd, not a Star Wars nerd. Hey, everybody, it's DB in Arizona. New episode of White Roof Radio. We snuck a little Black Roof in there for you. Pretty cool,
yeah,
right?
Whatever, yeah.
Right, that's Shuttlecast stuff right there. But we don't do a Shuttlecast yet. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We are talking about Mini Cooper stuff for you. This will be the last show of 2018, just so you guys know. We already talked about weather, and we already talked about Jim Peterson switching to snows, and we already talked about Apple stuff. And if you want to hear any of that, all you gotta do. Oh, you know what else you gotta do? They also got sneak peek. They got first pass at something really cool that you guys are gonna find out about later in the show. But they got it like last week. You know how they did that? Over at the Black Roof Radio Club, patreon.com/White Roof Radio, for like, I don't know, like $1 a show. And so far that's been like $1 a month with the way we've been doing shows. You get access to Black Roof Radio, which is all of our pre-show stuff. Sometimes it's good, sometimes, well, it's just us, bashing on Gabe. But sometimes you get cool stuff like this last one. There was cool stuff and you guys missed it. And now you have to wait till the end of the show.
And valuable stuff. Like
valuable stuff.
Monetarily valuable stuff.
Cool and valuable stuff. Over at patreon.com/Black Roof Radio. That would be really awesome if you want to do that. Maybe make that a New Year's resolution or something.
It's worth more than the $1 you're going to pay for the show. I'm telling you that right now.
Totally worth more than $1.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the new GP. We're going to talk about switching to winter tires. We're going to talk about something else that Todd had, and I've now since forgotten because I didn't write it down.
I got a couple
SEMA.
Oh, yeah, and SEMA.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes of Chad and I from SEMA.
That's right. We're going to do all that, plus a whole bunch more, including, like I've already alluded to, I want you guys to stick around to the end of the show. We've got a discount code for you. I'm not going to tell you what it's for. I'm not going to tell you how much it is, but you just got to stick around to the end of the show. It's actually really cool. You're going to dig it. And it's only for you guys. Well, only for the listeners of White Roof Radio. We'll get to that a little bit later. Pardon me. Before we do, let's remind you about the guys that make this actually happen. Besides the fine and noble patrons over at patreon.com/White Roof Radio. And that's our friends over at Outmotoring. Outmotoring.com is one of our favorite sponsors. They've been an OG sponsor, right, of both Motoring File and White Roof Radio for a very, very, very long time. And you know why? Because Aaron at Outmotoring.com is awesome. And he does great work, and he loves you guys, especially. He doesn't really like us. He thinks we're kind of okay. But you guys, man, he thinks you guys are awesome. You know how awesome he thinks you guys are? Right now, if you click over to outmotoring.com, he's actually having holiday mini sale, doorbusters even, with an exclamation point. You can save up 75 cents, 75% on some items. There's a whole bunch of stuff over there that you guys can pick up because it's Christmas time, and there's a mini person in your life. Might just be you, and maybe it's your Mrs., maybe it's your Mr., I don't know, but there's a mini person in your life, and you need some of the things that are over at outmotoring.com that you are saving, oh my God, huge amounts of money on. Carbon fiber exhaust tips for $120? Wait, what? Are you kidding me? That's like more than half price off.
What did you say? Carbon fiber exhaust
Carbon
tips?
Fiber exhaust tips.
For who?
For 120 bucks.
For what?
I don't know. Just carbon fiber exhaust tips. Oh, for the F car or for the R car?
Serious?
F or R series. Yeah.
Whoa.
120 bucks each. It's like, wait, what? Really?
That's way less than half price. Mine were $4 a piece.
Yeah, well, his normal price is $300. So that's it's a huge savings. Grill badge holder. $13. Come on.
And you're going to need that. Just a hint.
Just a hint. Just telling you. Key rings if you've got an R car. All kinds of stuff over there. Just go over there, plus some personal stuff, shirts. Also on the special, double badge holder, all kinds of cool stuff. Just got to click over to outmotoring.com and then click on the Doorbusters link, and you can find some stuff, some great deals over there. But not only there, you're gonna find great deals. You're gonna find great deals to the whole site because Aaron's prices at outmotoring.com. I would almost bet, and I need to research this, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt. His prices are better than the parts desk, especially for you DIY guys. You need to do an oil change. You need to do a tune-up. You're just doing maintenance on your car. You need one of those little clips or something. You just need something mechanical for your car because you're fixing it or replacing it. Outmotoring is your cloud-based parts desk, and you've got prices that will probably meet or beat the dealer. I mean, it's just silly not to go anywhere else. Outmotoring.com. Make sure you sign up for the email newsletter or watch for his posts on motoringfile.com. Doing that will get you a 5% discount code for the month. So that's really cool. When you log in and create an account, you actually get points when you buy at outmotoring.com, which is really cool. Aaron's always going to make sure you buy the right parts for your car because you don't understand the R56, R59, F56, R60 stuff. You don't get that. You don't need to get that. You're not a hardcore mini nerd. You just love the car, right? Aaron will make sure you get the right parts for your car. If you're a club or you've got a Mini Cooper event, and you're looking for some swag or something to give away, if you hit up Aaron, he's always going to help you do with something. It might be something simple out of the swag closet, or it might be like a $200 gift certificate. He almost never says no. Just saying. Free shipping on most orders over $195. 100% happiness guarantee. And don't forget, of course, if you need to pull stuff with your Mini, Aaron's got you covered there with Mini Do More. Hook you up with a little hitch system for your Mini. Be able to haul anything up to a single PWC, the back of your Mini with a hitch if you've got an S. Very cool stuff. I'm actually going to be getting one of those after the first year, so we'll watch for a full review of that. Anyway, go over there, check it out. Don't forget, I said email sign up. Yes, do that. And then click through motoring.com. Easy. Mini performance, speed, and how about a knit beanie hat? Oh, yeah, Mini Toques, $14. That's a stocking stuffer. It's heck, it's practically a stocking.
Sweet.
Get over there, pick it up right now, outmotoring.com. And I always think it's funny. We try to get Gabe on, and he's just not available. He's in his car. He's driving his car, which is fine. And he's got hands-free and all that stuff in the Countryman, the company car. But because Gabe lives in one of the most populous cities in all of the United States, he has the world's worst internet connectivity. Pretty much anywhere he goes.
Because 6 million other people are trying to use the internet at the same time.
It's just crazy balls. So we don't get Gabe. So instead, we're just going to jump right to it. Let's start talking about the big post on motoringfile.now, motoringfile.com, which is that of the new upcoming 2020 JCW GP.
It's going to be blue, I heard.
I heard it's going to be chili red, and I also heard that Todd's going to have one in his car. And this is really quick. Let's go. Let's do some historical reference really quick. Hang on.
Todd will buy one. That is precedent.
No, let me tell you what's going to happen here. Todd's going to talk trash about this car for the next year. He's gonna say, I'm not gonna get one. I'm not gonna get one. Nope, can't get it. Nope. Getting an Aston Martin. I'm gonna buy a Bugatti Veyron and all this other stuff. And you know what he's gonna come back to? When this car comes out, he's gonna have one in his garage.
But you know what?
Mark it now.
I didn't buy the GP2.
It's not even that he's gonna want to buy one. His dealer will force him to buy one.
They've already
it's just like sitting here. You should just take this home.
Yeah.
And then he'll drive it and he'll be like, okay, here's my money.
Exactly. That's how he gets his cars.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, we're done picking on Todd now about his GP.
And you're probably right.
Todd, we kid because we love.
Yeah, we love Todd a lot. He taught us how to play video poker and all that good stuff.
Yeah, but remember too, our man Todd, he was one of the original owners of the original GP. Did the whole takeover, the delivery on the coast, drove it across the United States, the whole shoot match. Liked the second GP so much he had two of them at the same time.
No, I didn't. Right? I didn't buy the second. I didn't buy GP2, but I like GP1 so much I bought a second GP1.
Oh, that's what it was. Right?
Yeah, we had two GP1s for, 3-4 years. And then, you can't drive both of them at the same time. Like I say, having two cars is like having sex with two women at the same time. There's a lot of starting and stopping, Somebody gets ignored quite a bit, so. Can I say that on the family show, the Thanksgiving show?
Yeah, I think you just did.
Oh, jeez.
Or it's going to be the world's longest beep, depending on my mood when I edit. Anyway. So we have the new JCW. Now, let's just talk. The only thing that anybody cares about the new JCW, and that's what colors are going to be. Nobody cares about the color.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only thing anybody cares about is horsepower at this particular moment in time. And according to what Gabe has written, this is going to be a 280 horsepower beast.
280-ish.
280-ish horsepower with 300-ish foot-pound of torque.
Is it going to look just like
the
spy photos? Because I mean, if it, I mean, not that the spy photos are horrible, but those like fender, shields, whatever you want to call them. I mean, while very cutting edge, very nude, and very different, I mean, that would look like no other car on the market ever anywhere.
Yeah. So what we have here for photos, go ahead, Todd.
I was gonna say, Chad. No, here's my take: is that it's gonna be like the previous two GPs. It's gonna look like a mini F56, and it's probably gonna have some graphics and a wing. That's it.
Yeah,
and a
special
more aggressive
aero package and
a more aggressive front splitter. It won't have these crazy you're looking at this concept with the crazy fenders and all that. It's not gonna have any of that.
Well, and even the GP2, the only thing that was different about that car than a JCW of its generation is that it had larger brakes.
Yep.
But the aero kit, and it came in a special color at the time. But even then, you could order, like very soon after the GP2 came out, you could order that color, and you can still to this day order a Thunder Gray Mini.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now they've been doing that. So I got to say that the GP2 wasn't quite as special, and I hope they do something to make this one set it apart a little bit more, because even the aero kit on the GP2 was I think pretty standard. I don't think they did anything to that.
Yeah, it was pretty standard. I would almost bet though, if they're going to put a car with this much power going only through the two front wheels on the road, I would imagine it's going to have a pretty aggressive front splitter of some sort.
Yeah, I could see the grill package and the front splitter kind of becoming part of it,
right.
And even almost up into that section where it kind of comes up. I mean, the new Corvettes have been doing something very similar like that. I could see that being a little more aggressive in there, but the whole like coming back and the number on the side, I don't see that happening.
No.
They could do something similar in the rear quarter panel, but the whole gappage thing, it would be a logistical nightmare in manufacturing. I mean, it would be. It's so difficult.
Well, they're only making 3,000 of these, Chad. I mean, they could do each one by hand like they did the first time. Now, and that's what the difference between GP1 and GP2 was. Every GP1 in 2006 was built by hand at Bertone in Italy. Okay, and it was assembled there and everything. Now the GP2 just came off the assembly line in Oxford,
right?
Like everything else. I mean, there was
but we already know that was a losing cost, profit for them.
Yeah. I
mean, just to get it out there. So we all know, without getting too in depth in this, that Mini's kind of hurting a little bit in the pocketbook. They're not, like, hey, we got some money to just throw around. Let's make this really special edition that will, keep our name in the media for the next 20 years because it'll just keep going up. They're not in that place anymore.
But anyway, Chad, I think all the more reason for them to do something completely radical and come up with something that everybody has to have, that there's going to be so much demand that outstrips the supply here in the U.S., yada, yada, yada. Because I know on at least the GP1, they lost money on every one of those cars. It cost way more than, it was a very affordable, very reasonable price. But I don't know. I think it could go either way, Chad. I think you're right. They may have to pare it down because there's not a lot of, budget for such things. But which brings us to the next point, which Gabe said in the article, is that they're estimating this car is going to be around $45,000.
$45,000 or higher.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Are they going to come out with an all-wheel drive system for that then?
I don't know. Because here's the real kicker, is that BMW, and we talked about this, I think, on the very last show that we did, at least the last show that Gabe was on, they have the JCW engine, the 2-liter, the JCW engine, in the BMW X2 right now. I want to say it's like X2 M.
Well, it's in a lot of cars right now, but
let's
go with that.
It's putting out 300 horsepower.
Right.
This engine block, this same engine, is putting out 300 horsepower already. So that kind of leads you to believe. Now, granted, that's in an all-wheel drive car, and Chad, you're right. I think you put 300 horsepower into a front-wheel drive car, and it's a ridiculous proposition. You're never going to lay that down. You're going to be buying new tires every 2 months.
Yeah.
Right. But they, according to what Gabe's written here, is they've got it figured out. With some kind of fancy mechanical diff and some other torque vectoring systems that they've put in place that's supposed to at least keep the steering wheel from yanking out of your hands when you get on it.
Yeah, because I got to tell you right now, my car, my JCW, I've got some pretty horrendous torque steer in second and third gear. If you're pulling really hard and you're maxing it out going there, if you're not paying attention, the car will definitely jerk. It's a nature of a front wheel drive car with a lot of horsepower. Now,
right.
I've got my car tuned to a little more horsepower than standard JCW.
Yeah,
but
a little bit.
It does add a little bit of a torque steer there. So, but here's the other thing, Chad. You were also talking about these fender wells or these giant fender carbon fiber, extra add-on pieces there. Do you see why they did that? Look at how far those wheels come out. They come out to the edge of there.
I did notice that. I mean, they look just like a standard OZ wheel. There doesn't look like there's any like
a huge offset
aftermarket type wheel to that. So,
but
there's a lot of interesting things in these concept drawings.
But here's the thing: without putting, I mean, even 20 millimeter spacers wouldn't bring them out that far. So, which begs the question, like even for this car, what the hell did they do to bring that track out so far? Because it's got to be an inch and a half farther on every corner, which means the total
big stack of washers.
Yeah, the total track of that car is upwards of 2-3 inches wider than a normal Mini.
Yeah, and since it's just a concept, dude, I wouldn't actually be surprised if they literally just put a big stack of washers back there.
Yeah, a bunch of spacers.
To bring that bunch of spacers.
Yeah.
Right? 2x4, who knows what? Something.
I don't know. The car does. I will say, looking at the picture of the concept, it kind of looks like the original GP 2006 GP Thunder Blue metallic again.
It does. I agree.
I recognize. I mean, I looked at color for 10 straight years in my garage, and it kind of looks more like that than it does. And it might be a whole new color. I hope it is a whole new color, and I hope they don't offer it on regular Minis. That would piss me off.
Yeah, especially if you bought one, especially after you have one in your garage. So the last question about the GP, let's talk about this because this will be the one that everybody else gets revved up about too. Manual or automatic transmission?
It'll be, I hate to say it, it's going to be an automatic.
It's going to be the automatic.
Yeah, probably, unfortunately, yeah.
I will say that's just
almost bad.
That's just the way things, the BMW mindset is going. And not that people at BMW hate manual transmissions. The automatic transmissions are faster. They have faster 0 to 60 times. They're more efficient. They're smoother than they ever have been before. They lay the power down better. You'll be faster on the track with it. Is it as much fun? That's subjective. Those of us who drive manual transmission cars would probably not agree with that. I mean,
right. So, if I'm BMW, what another concern I would have is, and I would like to think that if you're going out and you're buying a JCW GP, that you already have skills as far as driving skills. Like maybe you've already had some track time. You're not just buying this car because it's like the hottest car to get.
You would think, but that's not probably.
You would think.
That's probably not true necessarily.
No.
Right. So
you've got some money right now because you've been working really hard, and this was the one that you could get, and you couldn't get the Gen 1 GP at the time. Right. And now you want the next couple little things. 'Cause I'm sure this is probably not going to have the stripped down speakers. It already looks like it's got the xenon lights and a few other things. Yes, it's going to have a ton of horsepower. So why pull out half the stereo speakers? Because you don't need to save that weight. They're probably going to definitely make it an automatic, but. Yes, I agree with what Todd's saying. There are a lot of advances with the automatics, and it's just like doing a stick. You got to time things. You got to do stuff. The automatic with the paddle shifters and all that fun stuff is you also have to time all those things. You have to know exactly on the decel when to hit the downshift button because, again, they won't let you downshift until they feel it's safe enough. But so you can't, or otherwise you just get frustrated. Right. You keep pulling the downshift button.
You know what the manual does, Chad? The new JCW. If you try and downshift too soon,
is it rev match?
No, it slams on the. It does rev match, but what I'm saying is, if you try and downshift before the car, if it's gonna redline the car applies the brakes, and it does it in it does it in a dramatic fashion. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It will not over rev this car in the new manual transmission technology. So you've kind of done away with that a little bit. I mean, I've only done it a couple of times, just out of like from third to second, you go a little bit too soon, trying to slow down, or you get into a corner, and boy, it is jolting. It is jarring, and
wow,
it'll scare the crap out of you. Don't sugarcoat that at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh no, I'm not sugarcoating, Chad. I'm lying. Like, it's terrifying. Yes. Yeah, but anyway, so here's the other thing too: is I think Mini has to look at it from a sales standpoint and go, listen, we can see we've been selling JCWs since 2016. The F Series JCWs. This is how many are manuals. This is how many are automatics. Because they came out with it. Here, let's rewind to 2016. Do you guys remember they came out the JCW automatic before they came out with the manual?
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like 3 months before the manual hit.
Right.
In the JCW, automatic was first to market.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think there were probably.
I kind of forgot about that too.
I think there might have been logistic reasons behind that, and there is a demand for, the manual transmission JCWs. But I would think in general in the U.S. that automatics now, and this is 15 years later after the launch of the Mini, when they only offered manual transmission. You couldn't get an automatic Mini when they were brand new.
No, you couldn't get an automatic Mini for how long? 2005?
2005?
Yeah, 2005, yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Wasn't, not counting the CVT.
Yeah, that was the first S transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first S with an automatic was in 2005.
The Cooper automatic. But it wasn't available in 2002. It might have been available in 2003.
What's that?
The automatic in the Cooper.
On the S?
On the
Cooper?
No,
that was 2003.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think you get the CVT on a 2002.
I don't know.
You couldn't get the 2002 in the States easily.
Possibly, but yeah.
So I think
it was right in there somewhere.
I think the CVT didn't come along until 2003. Yeah, it was 2003. I didn't know anybody had a 2002. So.
God, that was so long ago.
Right?
Let's see.
My God.
Guess who
I was
says
a puppy back then.
Guess who says they're ready to come into the call? Shall we try it?
Oh hell, why not?
All right. Hopefully this won't hang up on you guys.
Hopefully.
Oh no, that worked.
Well, let's see if we might get Gabe.
There he is.
Hello.
Okay, Gabe, you're on the air. We have a lightning round question for you here. When?
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Pause that. Better.
Oh, we can
hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you okay.
All right, well.
You ready
I
for
have my headphones on. They're just not functioning.
All
so.
right. Oh, well, here.
Anyway.
We have to quickly. We were in the middle of this. You have to answer this question. When was the first Mini with an automatic available? The first modern Mini.
Right off the bat, 2000.
Was it an 02?
Production 2002. CVT, yeah.
So you could get a CVT in the Cooper.
I thought so, but
okay. But the S didn't happen until 2005, right?
Correct. Yes, they got the Ace and 6-speed, and actually it was July 1st, 2004.
Oh,
was it really that late in 2004? Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
And that was 2005 model year. Yeah.
Well, so
okay.
Here, what begged the question for us we were talking about is will the new GP be a manual transmission, or are they all going to be automatics?
Well, would you like to know? I can give you some insight there.
Sure, fire away.
So I have had it confirmed by 2 different sources, both in Europe, for what it's worth, that it will be automatic only.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Not surprising there.
It'll be the 8-speed ASIN. It will be the thing that I don't know. Like right now, BMW has a few different options. They have a few different options. They have the 300 horsepower 4-cylinder B48 that is going in the Clubman and the Countryman that's already in the new X1 or X2. It'll
Right.
be in the X1 as well.
Right.
And so they've got that car, but they will not have had any other. They will not have a front-wheel drive version of it anywhere. Like they're not. That has not been done, and I would assume that many people inside of BMW would strongly advocate against having a front-wheel drive version of that car. So that's where it's a little unclear to me.
Well, and that's what we were talking about, is if they're pushing, if they limit it to 270, 280 horsepower, it'll still be a front-wheel drive car. But if they're going to push that 300 horsepower threshold there, and what I can't see many offering a 300 horsepower JCW Clubman and Countryman and only a 280 horsepower GP. Doesn't make any sense.
You're right, and I think that there's a couple different scenarios. I know, Todd, this is exactly where my I'm kind of digging through some of this. I have heard 280 something, again from a couple sources. I have going through a toll right now, by the way, for what it's worth.
All right.
I have heard nothing about front-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive, although I suspect they're going to keep it front-wheel drive, and I suspect what they're going to do is they're going to do some really interesting sort of like torque. I don't know if I can use this word, but retardation.
Yeah.
Okay.
To to potentially minimize the torque steer, because the suspension geometry isn't like the Focus RS, where the first one, or not the current one, but the previous one.
Okay.
Where they had the specific geometry that sort of limited that. So they kind of have to do it artificially, is my understanding. And if they do that, they're going to have to market this car as a light, like it's not as powerful as those big cars, but it's lighter weight and will be faster.
Well, you look at it from horsepower to weight ratio, and it is ridiculous at that point when you get to 280 in a car that is, what's the F-56?
I mean, it'll be under 3,000 pounds.
Right.
Yeah, 2,800 pounds or something.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah,
it'll be fast. I mean, it should be under 5 seconds, 0 to 60.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Which would be wicked.
That's pretty ridiculous because the original GP1 was listed at, I believe, right at 6 seconds or 5.9.
Yeah.
As was the GP2.
And Todd, you know this as well as anybody. The limit of the performance of that car and even GP2 is really down to traction.
It really is. It's like putting the good tires on it, and which they did on the GP2.
Yes, they did. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they hustle this car. Actually, I take all that back. If it's only front-wheel drive, it's going to be hard to get the car to hook up. If it was a manual, if it's an automatic with launch control, they stand a chance in getting to that near that 5 second mark.
Right, because they could do some computer trickery.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
which is another reason why they may just say, listen, we're not going to even do a manual because it's going to be infinitely more usable, if you will.
Right. Right. No.
Yeah. Okay.
I get that.
You're going to be able to extract the performance out of it much easier.
Yeah. I get that, but I also get, most likely sales numbers too. One, it's performance. The automatics are always going to be faster because the technology is there to make them faster. They're better shifting, smoother, all of that. But looking at the sales numbers, they've got from 2016, 16, 17, 18, they got 3 years of sales numbers for JCWs. They know what the percentage is, automatics to manuals. Yeah. And I guarantee you it is at least 60-40, if not 70-30 or beyond.
Yeah. And I'm sure that is heavily favored. Automatics are sort of like heavily weighted on the larger JCW side, I'm sure. But,
yeah,
I think it's going to be interesting because I left, that to me is like one of the big like gotchas of this car, presuming it's automatic only, which I'm pretty sure it is. I think there's a lot of people that have bought GPs in the past, a lot of people who are diehard Mini enthusiasts, who by their very nature are probably going to be more prone to buy manuals, are going to just be like up in arms.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's different with this car. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting older now that I'm in my 30s. But I don't mind. I don't mind. I was supposed to be sarcastic, by the way. I don't mind.
Nobody laughed, Gabe.
Nobody laughed because we're way older than that.
may be too, but regardless, I don't mind that in this car because it's never been done before, so it's kind of cool. Like, all right,
Sure.
high performance automatic, that's really interesting, but it's also it feels like it's a track weapon, and you already have minis that are just like incredibly back to basics and just fun to drive, and that's basically called every mini with a manual transmission. And so they kind of already checked that mark in a sense with just the standard JCW. It's the back to basics, like very pure vehicle that is just a lot of fun to drive. As by the way, I shift my manual JCW for what it's worth.
I don't know.
But with this car, it's going to be more of a track weapon and sort of all-out performance. I think it's kind of interesting. Now, here's what I want them to do. I want them to add, if they're going to do that, then just go ahead and shoehorn, and I don't know if they can do it or not, shoehorn that all-wheel drive system in there, or take that Twinster all-wheel drive system that GetDrive created and actually tried to sell it to BMW.
Yeah.
BMW said no, and then they went to sold it to Ford, and Ford put it on the Focus RS.
Right.
Get that thing, which is much more performance oriented, much more real drive, sort of like a forward, if you will, and get that in there.
Well, so tell me this: does Honda do it with their Type R, or is it still a front wheel drive car? Because that's a lot of horsepower. The Civic Type R.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the Civic Type R is still
a front wheel drive.
Front wheel drive.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't, knowing Honda.
Well, I'm gonna look it up. While we talk here, I'm gonna look it up so we know.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Go ahead, Gabe.
I was gonna say I think the suspension geometry would probably help there as well. But I think the idea of a small all-wheel drive performance mini has just always kind of been interesting to me, and I know it's not like the pure quote-unquote GP that others were, but maybe it's time for something a little different, and it's not to say that they can't do something else as well.
Yeah. Okay.
One
Fair
note
enough.
on this car, and I zoomed in, and I actually had it's in the article on Motoring File. There's a zoomed in photo of the speedometer area right in front of the steering wheel, and if you look closely, that is the new gauge cluster. So it's this, I don't know if I pulled it out in the article or not. I can't remember, but it's this big, oval, if you will, all digital. It's like a specific cut LCD display. That's going to be the new gauge cluster that debuts next year with the Mini E, and then obviously we'll go into all other minis.
Well, I'm going to say this now: if Honda can make a 306 horsepower Civic front-wheel drive, Mini ought to be able to figure out how to do it because it's been done. The Japanese have done it.
Yeah, and this is a front-wheel drive car. There's no all-wheel drive on this, best I can tell. I'm looking on the website right now.
Yeah.
And if it was all-wheel drive, they'd put it all over the place, and it is nowhere to be found here.
Yep.
That car, that car is
unfortunately
pretty, menacing.
The biggest problem with the Civic Type R is it looks like a prop car from the Fast and the Furious series.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It looks super angry. I mean, I hesitate to talk smack about it because I think it's really cool that they actually exist, but
I think you have to be an Asian. I think you literally. I'm not saying this. This is stereotyping, but it's true. You have to be an Asian teenager to drive this car.
Well,
that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's.
I don't know. I actually think that is by definition stereotyping.
It is, but it fits. It fits.
I don't know if it does or not. Regardless, it's not my taste. I'll just say that.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's
the car or Asian teens?
Yeah.
Hey.
I am officially not going to comment anymore on that.
And Gabe, since we've got you on, I've been seeing the pictures of the company car all over Instagram. How is the company car treating you so far?
Oh, it's fantastic. So, I'm about, 6,200 miles into this thing.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I don't mess around. So it's been great. I mean, I recently wrote a 5,000 mile review on it, this is, and I hesitate to say it, but I mean, this is probably my second favorite Mini as a daily driver.
Wow.
Next to the Roadster.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And I've had 2002, 2005, 2007, and I've had like basically every year after 2011.
Right.
Of every kind of product you can imagine, and the Roadster will always kind of be my favorite because it's such a special car. It was JCW Roadster. It was just a special car. But as a daily driver, this thing is incredible. I mean, it's not as, it doesn't have as much like horsepower as maybe you want, but it's fine. It's fast, especially with the manual. It's
fun.
Blast to drive.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything about it is great. All-wheel drive. I've got snow tires on it right now. Like this thing, I cannot wait for it to snow. Like this thing's going to be a monster in the snow. I loved my JCW Club-In last year with snow tires, but now having this as a manual in snow, I mean, it's basically like I'm going to be hunting for snow.
All bets are off at this point. So Gabe has snow tires on his JCW. I still have square tires on my JCW. So it's pretty horrible because we've been in the 20s here lately, and I have yet to upgrade. I put the BlizzX on the Roadster, so if I need traction on the street, but the JCW is now just like a slippery mess everywhere I go.
Yeah, I cut it perfectly because I put away my old 76 2002, my old BMW, and I put away my 1M literally the day before it snowed in Chicago.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was mostly luck. And the JCW got snow tires the day after, so it worked out pretty well. But yeah, I actually have the Blizzak LM20 or 32s, I believe they're called.
That's the new one.
It's a slightly more performance-oriented version of the WS80s, which I had last year.
That's what we've got.
They're not technically as good in the snow.
Yeah.
But they're still snow tires. They're still brand new.
Well, and what's great about the WS80s, when we're talking about this, if you're interested in winter tires, I'm a big fan of the Blizzak WS80s because they're great on cold pavement. They are fantastic on cold pavement. That's what I call a winter tire, not a snow tire.
Right.
And I think they still are the top of my list for a winter tire for people.
I mean, anybody's interested, read the article I had on Motorfile about snow tires this past, I guess it was last week, which is essentially, that point.
Yeah.
They're not snow tires, they're winter tires.
Right.
And, it's great to have them in snow, but what the actual, like, sort of like molecular structure of the rubber is totally different and allows for much more grip in cold weather.
Yeah.
And that's where frankly one of the worst problems of summer tires in winter is that even if it's dry, they just do not grip on cold pavement.
Right.
So your braking's bad, your acceleration's bad, and the fact that you could lose control of your car in certain situations.
Well, not to mention
alarming.
that it actually damages the tires. If you're like I'm right now, and I don't care because these tires are dead. They're going in the recycling bin in the next 4 months when I get rid of the car. But
become a playground.
Yeah, so exactly. They're going to become mulch for somebody's garden. But yeah, you will actually damage your summer tires in temperatures below 30 degrees. They'll start to crack, and it's bad on them. You're throwing your money away by not getting winter tires.
Right, and I know people are often, they look at it and say like this is a big expense, and yeah, it is. At the same time.
But you amortize it over 4 or 5
summer tires.
Well, think about that. Yeah, you're spending the life of that, but you're going to use the snow tires or the winter tires over the course of probably 4 or 5 seasons.
Right, and you don't want to hang on to it, obviously too long. But yeah, I think that's exactly right. So I don't know how we got to tires from the JCW, but.
Hey, because that's what we do.
We got there, man. It was awesome.
So the moral of the story is...
I'm going to link both those stories up in the show.
Put snow tires on it.
Yeah.
I'm going to link both those up. Your 5,000-mile review of the company car and your snow tire write-up that you put on Motoring File. I'm going to link both those up in the show notes.
Yes, and to give you a little sneak peek on what these snow tires, how they performed. I've only driven in the snow once in them, so I can't really speak to that very much. But they are, I would say, very, very similar to the WS80s, Todd. I think, from my experience at least, there's more grip to them, just in But that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be slightly more performance oriented and give away a little bit of snow performance.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. The other thing, though, the big thing about these tires is their sidewalls aren't quite as square, and that's common for snow tires because you want them to cut through snow, and that's compounded by the fact they're also not run flats. And so when I first got in this car, I was like, holy
Whatever.
smokes, like this thing, like the turn-in on this thing is dramatically different. Like it's quick and it's lively. It feels great. And it just reminded me of basically every Mini I've ever personally owned in my life. I've always ditched at run flats. How great it is to ditch your run flats if you can stomach it.
Yeah.
Because you reduce weight, you increase your turn-in, it sharpens up, feels.
Yeah, well, your contact patch is there. The tire's not flexing as much. It's a little stiffer in a winter tire. And I noticed that in our Roadster, too. It feels completely... I mean, the car handles different with the winter tires on than it does with the summer tires.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think more than anything, it's just like it's like eliminating, like it's less weight.
Uh-oh, I think we...
Uh-oh.
I've got tires that do not have... but it's been great.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Awesome. Gabe, did you have anything else you want to share with us before your call drops
no.
altogether?
No. No, I mean I'm good. I can hang on for a few here. But,
Okay. Well, keep
no,
on.
I'm good.
As long as your signal's there.
It's been going. JCW Countryman is great.
That's
Well, okay.
Well, I can tell you that, you know, a lot of my customers that when we're putting them into snow tires, I will always go with the performance snow tire like the LM32 that does have more of a rounded sidewall. Because, you know, we live in a tri-state area, we're always plowing, we're always doing things quickly. So you're not doing the full deep snow like we are way up in northern Michigan that never plows and, you know, you're always trying to get through stuff. You know, down here we are 50% slush and dry,
right.
salted roads, and 50% of, you know, a quick snow and then it's gone again.
Right.
So, you know, by putting you in a performance snow tire, it's still gripping, it's still doing what it's supposed to. Yeah. It still likes that tread compound and the temperature compound of the tire, but it's not so gummy like the WS80s where you kind of feel like you're driving on like a marshmallow. It's got a little bit of a float to it.
Yeah.
And when you're driving 60 miles an hour on the freeway, you're like, wow, this almost feels unstable if I don't really pay attention to what I'm doing. If I don't have both hands on the wheels, I can't just kind of relax and cruise. You got to kind of really like concentrate on driving. So I really can see both sides of both snow tires, and I will really ask my customers a lot of questions when we're trying to put them into the right tire. But 90% of my people I put into something a little more performance-oriented because the Mini is a performance car.
Right.
You know, Chad, it's interesting you say that because I think I remember my first snow tire I ever bought in the 90s. I literally thought something was wrong with the car. I mean, it felt... I had to live with that for like 3-4 years. They felt so unstable. They
were so compliant. Yes. Oh, I've had customers bring them back to me, and I do the whole explanation. And I tell them everything about it, but I'm like, tire A, this will be really good in deep snow, but it's $115 a tire. Or tire B, it'll be a little less good in deep snow, but it'll handle everything. It'll be a really nice all-around tire, but it's $180 a tire.
Right.
Everybody goes to the $115 a tire, and then they come back 3 minutes later like, this tire's unstable. I can't take this. I want to return them. I'm like, well, no, that was the tire you chose. Sorry. This is your tire now.
No backsies at Detroit Tuned.
Exactly. Yeah. I go through an immense amount of time with you to make sure you understand every aspect of why you're choosing this tire and to really give you the good choice. And even to the point of, hey, here's a car that has these tires. Take this car for a drive. Feel what these cars feel like. I mean, we had a customer just the other day for a set of brand new performance snow tires, and he still didn't quite get it, and he slid into a curb and ended up totaling out his
so that's why I
car.
It was good enough, but in the snow, in the deep snow, it was just shockingly good.
Yeah.
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 Well, I say, and I will agree with that feeling of we had an F-56 for a while that had some Blizzaks on it, and they were horrible on the highway. They really did feel like the car was just going to float out right off the highway. It was this feeling of, oh my gosh, I don't feel like I have control of this car, and that is a description you can see, and it doesn't just happen to Minis; it happens in BMWs and other vehicles. People who do that, but and here's where we got away with it in the Roadster is we do a majority of in-town driving, not much on the highway, and so you never get that feeling of being out of control when you're only doing 45, 50 miles an hour. But 60, 70 miles an hour, the car does get a little light and kind of feels like there's something wrong with the steering or the suspension, and it's just something you can't describe. And but it's everything both you guys said about that. So, Chad, I would agree with you 1,000%.
I mean, actually, I'll even give you quick feedback right now. I'm driving on the LM32. I'm going to 80. It feels pretty much like a normal tire.
Yeah, it's a very normal tire, and that's the nice thing about a performance snow tire. You're just going to spend a couple dollars more, but it really is what the Mini needs, unless you live in a spot that's like they never plow. We get 8 inches a day. We get all of this lake effect, whatever, and that's where you're like, okay, that's where you need that full-on snow tire because you're doing a lot of daily driving and the commuting and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Like when you're thinking about a snow tire, they have what they call a sipe, and it's all these little tiny cuts in the tire. And if you take a deck of cards and you flip them, and you're looking at all, that's kind of like what your snow tire is doing. So it's always kind of flexing, and when you're accelerating fast, it's wanting to flex, which means it's spinning more. And when you're braking, it's also flexing, and it's wanting to kind of squirm while you're actually putting the brakes on. So those are all things why I think in the middle of the 80s, early 90s type of thing, people were like, oh, you don't need snow tires. You can just go with this all season, because people felt more safe in them because they weren't used to how that was working as new technology came out. And now you've seen everything kind of come around. And we're like, oh, well, you really should have snow tires and you should have this. And in some states and other countries, it is law that by now you should have your snow tires on no matter what.
Right.
Yeah. Germany, it's required.
Yeah, Canada.
Well, Jim Peterson put his snows on, you should have your snows on too.
Yeah, he's our groundhog, our mini groundhog for snow tires.
Yeah.
And DB, it's funny because it brought up Phoenix to me. I read last week somebody said the only place all seasons are good is someplace like Phoenix, where in the winter it can get into the 40s at night, right?
Sometimes during the day for a week, we'll get that 1 week where we get that cold snap where it's like high 40s, low 50s for a week, and then it goes away.
But that's the only.
Yeah, at night it gets in the 40s, low 50s all the time.
Yeah, but you're like all seasons are good in someplace like Phoenix, where it never gets much below 40 degrees. Right. But they function.
Well, an all-season tire is similar like to a Continental DWS. I mean, that tire really can do snow capabilities, and it can really do hot capabilities. I mean, there are some really good all-season tires that can get all the stuff. I mean, a DWS can do pretty good in the snow the first year or two, no problem. So you really can get a nice all-season that does well in things. But if you're in a place that gets a lot of snow, not just a little dusting, I mean actual snow, then you want to go to a snow tire.
Yeah.
And the thing about the all season, even if it's good, it does not have the same level of growth, and it just never will. So, if you're ever going for all out performance, that is just not the choice you want.
Just get
it's been interesting, and I'm sure Gabe, you've probably had a little snow as well as we. I mean, we've had snow pretty much every day this week. I've actually seen some people on Instagram and the Indy 500s out there, which is basically a Michelin or whatever pilot sport performance tire in the snow. I'm like, that I'm surprised you're actually driving more than 2 miles an hour in that.
But you're not in the ditch.
We've talked about it for years, and I actually have been in Las Vegas this whole week, so I got to skip out on the snow. But the thing that we've talked about for years is how frustrating it is to hear people say like, oh man, my Mini cannot handle snow. I hate this thing. I gotta get the XYZ crossover, or well, dude, you got summer tires in your car and you're driving in 6 inches of snow. I mean, that's just how it works. You've got to be relatively like informed on what you just purchased before you start to basically, trade it in for a loss.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
All right.
There we go. There's our tire talk for this year.
There's our tire talk for 2018. Market done and done.
That was good. That was good talk, though. I think that was good.
Good talk. Good talk. Yeah.
Good talk.
Yeah. Except like you guys keep mentioning this word snow,
Shut up,
and it's
DB.
just what? What is?
Well, it's
snow?
white. This white fluffy stuff that comes from the sky.
Like, DB,
Okay.
you're not that far away. You can drive to snow in 30,
so
45
much
minutes.
We can drive this. I can drive the snow in 90 minutes.
90 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm close to.
Yeah, there's nothing better than like going through like 6-8 inches of virgin snow.
Okay.
Like fresh snow tires. I'm telling you, it's so much fun.
And doing a donut in an empty parking lot is something everyone should experience sometime in their life.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what I need to find? You remember that video that Anthony in Philly made?
Yes, he went to the
It
IKEA
was like
parking lot.
The IKEA parking lot in Philly?
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to find that video again.
I think it was him and Marzo, wasn't it?
I think so.
I think it was
I
Marzo.
couldn't.
I think it was
I don't-
Marzo's Mini, I think, to tell you the truth.
I think it was Anthony's mini, actually.
It might have
that's
been.
the point notwithstanding.
Wow.
I need to find that video. I should probably need to share that on Christmas Day after.
You know,
everybody-
Marzo's listening to this show right now, and he's screaming at the radio.
Yeah, every now and then I come in and he's like, "Did that really happen?" I was like, "Yeah, it did." He learned about the Rolls Royce, Dino Day, and he's pretty excited about it. So.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, that's very exciting stuff. Hey, let's let Gabe go. Gabe, finish your drive, dude. Be safe. I think we already lost him anyway.
Oh,
Gabe,
We did.
Gabriel, Mr. Bridger.
Yes, I put myself on mute.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, Gabe, if you want, you can go ahead and take off. You got a long drive ahead of you. I mean, you don't need to stick around for us. It was cool that you joined us, though, talk about tires, the company car, and the GP.
Well, last thing I was going to ask, did you guys already talk about the special editions?
No.
The sticker edition. I mean, the special
But-
editions.
No, there's a little more than that. Let's talk about them real quick, because I just have a couple points.
All right.
Yeah, go.
So, is there special edition? There's got to be special edition news music, right?
No.
Oh yeah, it's,
Oh, okay.
it's your theme,
Or
Gabe.
not for sticker editions. Gabe.
Sarcastically.
These
so,
are sticker
they're
editions. Come
always
on,
like
dude.
this.
They're sticker
They're always
editions.
like this.
Yeah.
No, that's not necessarily true. So there's a couple. So what's interesting about this is we have an F56 with the return of the silver roof.
Yep.
So this is more like the checkmate style stuff. It's not necessarily as like.
And hey, as far as I'm
minimal,
nope. As far as I'm concerned, the checkmate could have stayed in the past.
something that videos normally does. Well, I thought the checkmate was an attractive car.
No, that V
So a couple things.
that
A,
V stripe on the bonnet has to go. That is just it's hideous.
Yeah.
It is.
I think it looks great.
Nope.
It's great.
It's an assault
great.
on design
That would never
sensibilities
happen,
everywhere.
And if I'm honest, the
I think
silver roof and mirror caps don't look good on an F56.
It's okay.
I think it looks great. So I think the whole thing looks great. Wheels are too small, but I think the whole thing looks great. I think the other problem, you don't want to accentuate the length of that overhang on an F56. So I like the fact that you got your sticker basically starts at the scoop onward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you've got the black door handles. You've got obviously the blacked out trim, and then you've got black Mini logos for the first time.
Now I do like
which is
that.
pretty
I do
interesting.
like that.
And a black chrome or essentially piano black gas cap. So
Which those are available
it's really
now.
gonna
You can.
usher it in.
I've swapped those
Right,
out
the
now.
whole package kind of ushers in like this new look
Yeah.
for Mini with those logos.
And
That it's kind of compelling.
here's the thing, though, is I'm going to say it only took Mini 15 years to figure out what people have been doing to their cars for the last 15 years, wrapping them in vinyl, spraying them with Plastidip, all of those things. Mini finally figured out, oh, hey, let's see if we can do this to the cars. I mean, I like it. Don't get me.
They've basically done. They've done everything. They've done. They've done a lot of various things. The logo was one thing they couldn't do with the old logo.
Yeah.
So it was like, but I think it looks fantastic. What do you guys think about the belt line remaining silver?
No, I think that's horrible. That's got to go. That's got to go now. I'm tired of taping belt lines. I make a lot of money on it, and I'm sick of it.
I'll tape all your belt
And
lines.
the reason why is that many just considers that like a fundamental aspect of the car, and so that it needs to be like a sort of a bright or sort of high contrast point in the design, and they just don't want to get rid of that.
I think it's a bad idea. I disagree with that.
I think it's time to let it go.
Because I've done enough, and Chad, you've done enough too. You look at when you black out a belt line on certain certain color cars needs that chrome accent there. I get it.
Yes.
It grounds it. But on many cars, especially a black car, no, black it out.
Yeah. My air car, where it's the atomic teal, that looks great chrome. But any other car, black it out.
Yeah,
black it out.
Everything else is blacked out. The trim rings are gone. The grill ring is gone. The badges are gone, and you get this piece of chrome there, and you're like, "Gee, many Christmas, what
Yeah.
I'm cleaning it up for the family tonight. Sorry."
There you go.
Yeah,
The one of all the sticker editions that I do like, Gabe, is I do like the orange edition JCW. But that's because it's a pretty cool
sticker
color.
edition.
Yeah, but I think it looks pretty cool.
I don't know. I peeled the.
Yeah, I love that color.
Speaking of, I
But you
peeled.
can get that color on any JCW though.
You can,
Yeah, but
but
it also has those wheels. I think it just looks sharp.
when you see that car in person, you look at it and you're like, "What the hell were they thinking with the orange roof?" The orange car with the orange roof and the black spoiler. You don't see it in that picture. It's ridiculous in person. I've had people said, "I just want to pay you to wrap the roof in black."
Or white, actually, but white would look sharp.
It's got to
Or-
match the. It's got to see the DB.
Oh, but it's got to match the trim rings.
It's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
no. It's got a black
Some
spoiler.
pickups.
It's an orange roof and a black
oh.
spoiler.
Got it. Oh, it's got a black.
Why is it a black spoiler?
It looks silly. Have you not seen the pictures, Gabe?
No. What I'm asking though,
Why?
philosophically, like, they're just trying to like create some contrast, right?
No, I think they're just
Yeah.
trying to cobble some parts together. I can't answer the question.
That's actually harder to do because the way it goes through the system, like, I mean, there's plenty of orange spoilers lying around. They have that color anyway.
Yeah, I've taken many of the spoilers apart and wrapped them. So it is possible. It's not that hard to take that apart. But yeah, I think it's kind of ridiculous looking, especially because the cars have sunroofs. And so there's a giant black sunroof in the middle of this orange thing and a black spoiler. And then you go, no, this car needs to be a black roof. So that's just me, my personal opinion.
There it is.
So there,
All right.
Gabe.
On
Now
that
we've talked about the sticker editions. Gabe, thanks so much for joining us every chance you could this year. We really appreciate it. Have a great
Yeah, no
Thanksgiving, sir.
And I'll be hands on with those cars next week, so
Nice.
I will send reports.
I want to see
Sweet.
pictures on Instagram.
Yeah,
All
can't
right.
wait. All right, Gabe, thanks.
All right, see you guys.
Later.
See ya.
And so endeth our time with Mr. Bridger. It was nice to have him on. That was actually the best connection he's had in an age.
Yeah, I mean, I hope people appreciated that. He's driving across the country. That's what this show's about. It's about driving minis, and he was driving his Countryman JCW.
Driving JCW Countryman, which is pretty rad. And so also endeth the news from motoringfile.com. The three big stories we talked about there, the Gabe's 5,000 mile review, the snow tile write-up, and the mini sticker editions. I've linked those up in the show notes, so you can find those there. Really quick before we finish up, I want to remind you guys about one of the other awesome, amazing, rad sponsors underneath the white roof, and that's our friends over at Craven Speed, cravenspeed.com. Click over there, and I don't care if you have a Mini or any other brand of car. I want you to click over to cravenspeed.com, and I want you to click the Browse by Make tab. You're going to find everything from Alphas down to Volvos, and there's some of the things like you go into Smart, and it's, the shorty antenna, big deal. You go into Mazda, however, and Alfa Romeo, however. And this is where things start getting interesting because Craven's making some really cool stuff for the MX-5 and the 126 Spider, which is roughly the same car. And I would go and check it out if you happen to have a new MX-5 in the driveway. Be worth looking at. If you don't have any of those cars, you're a Mini Cooper owner, like you should be. So you're listening to the show. Click into the mini section. There you're going to find the bulk of the Craven Speed products, everything from the shorty antenna, of course, to the platypus mount, so you don't have to mount your license plate to drill holes in your bumper like an animal. Who does that? If you are, and I know you guys are out there, and I know you're listening, You're rocking an R53. You have a 2003 to 2006 Mini Cooper S, and it is not modified. And you're ready to pull the trigger on modifications. Your first mod is going to be a pulley. And the pulley that you're going to put on that car is from Craven Speed. Go over there, check it out. If you have any of the cars and you want a real sporty feel when you shift, you have to look at the Craven Speed short shifter because it's awesome. Oh my God, it is such a really nice piece. Really well crafted. It installs nice, and it just looks super, super rad. That and a whole bunch more stuff. Just go over there. I want you to start poking around the Craven Speed site. It is super awesome stuff. And remember, too, that they make all this stuff themselves. They design it all in-house. They make it out of carbon fiber, unobtainium, and God knows what else. It's really cool stuff. They've got 3D printers running all the time to prototype stuff. It's really super. They all work like lab coats and goggles all the time. And Kellen walks around sipping on bourbon.
Yeah.
While he's wearing a lab coat and safety goggles. No, not really.
That sounds like my day. That sounds like my day.
Yeah. These guys are awesome. I want you to go check them out. They're really cool stuff. And the cool thing about Craven Speed, too, is if you get stuff from Craven Speed and you go, I want Craven Speed, but I don't want to deal with the Craven Speed website. I don't know why, because it's actually a really nice website. You want to go to Chad, buy Craven Speed stuff from Chad. Buy Craven Speed stuff from outmotoring.com. Buy Craven Speed stuff from your local guy, whoever your local guy is. Insert local guy name here. And that's just as good as going to the website. Right? They're just happy to be able to sell stuff, right? They love to sell stuff. They love to see how you are implementing their cool stuff into your Mini Cooper or other vehicles. So much so that if you click over to the website and you click to the third tab in the little image rotator thing, there's actually a customer gallery over there. Pictures of customer cars that, people send in pictures of the car. It's like, oh, here's my car. Check it out. It's really super awesome. You can probably send a picture and they post it for you too. If you do go over to cravenspeed.com and you do place an order for something like, I don't know, the really awesome mini dipstick for the Gen 1, Gen 2 cars, and you order it from cravenspeed.com, there's a place there on the order form you can actually leave a comment. Your comment should say, thanks for supporting White Roof Radio. We really appreciate that. So do they. They, of course, are bestest pals in the whole wide world. Cravenspeed, cravenspeed.com. Does anybody have anything else?
No.
Chad's easy.
Yeah, I better keep my mouth shut. No.
Oh, now I'm intrigued. Todd's got to keep his mouth shut.
No. Long as everybody knows our special secret codes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting to that. So let's go. We're going to be done. This will be the part of the show where we're done, but you don't want to fast forward yet. Let me tell you why. Because our boys here, Chad at Detroit Tune, DetroitTune.com, and Mr. Todd at MotoringStripes.com, have a special deal for White Roof Radio listeners only. This is only for you guys. You can share this if you want, but it's only for you guys. I'm not going to write this down anywhere. This isn't going on social media anywhere. This is only for the listeners of White Roof Radio and Black Roof Radio. And that is if you were to go to motoringstripes.com or DetroitTune.com and place an order anytime between now and the end of the year, plenty of time for Christmas, you could use the code of WRR18 and save 5% on your order from either of those websites, either Todd's motoringstripes.com or Chad's DetroitTune.com. Save 5%. Use the code WRR18.
And also the secret, go to motoringbadges.com and it also works. Because guess what's coming back?
Motoring Badges is coming back?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. And you know why?
Really?
Because Minnie's making the
Got new
badge
designs?
Because Minnie's making the badge holder again.
Don't call this a comeback. You've been here for years.
I know. We never really went anywhere. We've always sold badges on the site, but we're bringing back some of the classic vintage designs that people have been asking about now for.
Nice.
They've been gone for about a year.
Yeah.
So we're opening the vault. We're opening up the vault and over at motoringbadges.com. Go check it out. And some good holiday deals, cheap shipping, and your discount WRR18 will get you 5% off your order.
Yeah, cheap shipping from Motoring Badges. But you want to know what's even better than cheap shipping? Chad, tell them what's better than cheap shipping.
Free shipping.
Thank you very much. And who is offering free shipping for this holiday season?
DetroitTune.com.
See, look at that.
Do you have
How
to do
awesome is
anything,
that?
Chad? Do you have to do anything? Do you have to order so much or anything?
You got to order a special amount of money.
Yeah, we are asking $130 for
Okay.
free shipping, but realistically, most anything that we sell or a couple of things is going to equal that, no problem. So, I mean, yeah, you're just going to order a blackout kit. Yeah, that's going to cost you a couple bucks to ship it, but that's $14. Get something else, a turbo oil line kit, a set of springs.
You're gonna need brakes this spring.
Yeah.
You're gonna need
I mean,
brakes.
No.
You get a spare tire and something
Here's what you're
else.
going to get. You're going to get a spare tire, and you're going to get Chad's mom's spare tire bag.
Ooh, there you go.
I mean, that'll totally do this free shipping, no problem. So, I mean, there's a lot of things when you add two things together that work well together, you're going to get the free shipping, no problem. So that's it's been our standard thing the last couple of years. We've lowered the price last couple that $130, and it has worked well for everyone. So
Yeah, you know what, Chad, you should actually have the mini spare. You should have it listed. You should have 2 SKUs on your website. One of them if they're just buying the tire, and another one if they're buying the tire with mom's bag made from love.
yeah, I keep the bag a separate thing just because everyone's always like, oh, I don't want all this, I don't want that, so we make it all a la carte, so you don't we're not forcing you to get into anything, but we
should just be like a kit already ready to go. Just like, I just want to get that here. I'm going to spend my money and I'm going to buy all those things. So go to Detroit Tune, like Chad just said. Go to Detroit Tune, order yourself up $130 worth of product at least, which is easy to do. The spare tire and the spare tire bag, for example, that's going to cover that right there. And Chad's going to ship it out to you. He's going to ship it out for free. Boom, done.
There it is.
Piece of cake. Right. That's over at DetroitTune.com. So make sure you visit everybody. So spread the wealth. And keep an eye for motoringbadges.com. It's still redirecting to motoringstripes.com, but that's going to change here by the time you guys hear this.
That's right. There's gonna be and we're gonna be adding.
Or you're just gonna put badges on Motoring Stripes.
It's probably gonna look the same. Like I want to be able to merge them together, so you can place your order together. So, but just go to Motoring Badges. You'll end up at the right place.
There you go. Keep an eye out for that, guys. Awesome stuff. As I mentioned already as well, this is our final show of 2018. I am putting White Roof Media on winter hiatus. The bike show did its last show
unless
this
something
week.
really cool happens, like some shit goes down.
Yeah, unless something really cool happens, or Gabe has a good connection and wants to talk about driving one of the sticker cars, then we'll get that going.
We could do the
space
Christmas
shuttle crashes into the moon. We will come back on.
We could do the Christmas bourbon drinking show.
Yeah.
Well, we could, because Brian and I did the beer drinking show on the bike show this week.
Yeah.
So that was actually a lot of fun, except Brian was drinking mimosas, and oh boy, I just got to say, got to get Brian Dow's drinking mimosas more often.
Did he have to put his balls in the drawer to do that? Come on.
He's
drinking beer.
I think he did.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I like a good mimosa, but
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know it was in fun. He was having a good time. They were getting ready for the holiday and all that, so it was a good time.
Awesome. That's
personally, I was drinking a delightful IPA, but we don't talk about that here. That's the bike show, ridebikesradio.com. If you want to listen to two guys talking about riding bikes and drinking beer, ridebikesradio.com is for you. Go over and check it out. Available where White Roof Radio is, so it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I think we're done though. Yeah. We're done for today. We're done for the year. We will be back. I'm presuming we'll be back in 2019, hopefully with some cool new stuff for you guys for the new year. We're going to be talking about that during the holiday break. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. For those of you who aren't in the United States, I hope you have a fantastic Thursday, or had a fantastic Thursday, depending on when this goes up. And then I hope everybody has a fantastic Christmas and New Year's as well.
Yes.
But that's all we have. We are done. So this is... pardon me, this is the part of the show where I do like to make that funny clicking sound, and then I say, questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead, click back over to whiteroofradio.com. There you can leave us a note in the show notes. You can also email us, feedback@whiteroofradio.com. But until 2019, gang, this DB, I'm done.
Cheers.
See ya.
And we didn't talk about something.
You're listening to the world famous Wire Roof Radio with cast number 651, recorded November 20th, 2018. Tonight brought to you by Cravenspeed.com and Outmotoring.com and MotoringStripes.com. And
badges.
Boy, you can tell when I don't do an intro for a long time.
Dun,
It's
dun,
been a
dun.
month, man.